Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's get it on. All right, Microsoft Azure. You guys want to create a VM in Microsoft Azure? This is the place. This is gonna be a beginner tutorial, so if you have any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them down below. Yeah, let's get started. All right, so to get started, we're in our dashboard here. We're going to go ahead and click Virtual Machines. From here, we can click Create. Now you can start with a preset configuration, but I always like to do it myself, so I'll use Virtual Machine. Okay, once we're in here, we're gonna go ahead and select a resource group. Now I don't have any here for this, so I'm gonna go ahead and create one. We'll call it VM Demo RG. Now we're gonna have to give it a virtual machine name, so we'll call it VM1. Our region is East US, however you can choose whichever fits you appropriately. For availability options, we don't need any of these for this demo. Now the image, this is the type of image that's going to be on your version of your VM. We're going to go ahead and do Windows 10 Pro. Size, any of these is fine. I have a limited availability here because I'm in my student account. And then next thing we're going to do is set up a username and password. So let's go ahead and say VM demo, and let's make a password. All right, so for public inbound ports, for this part, you can allow selected ports such as an RDP, or you can select none. You technically don't need one. However, for this demo, let's go ahead and set this up with RDP. And confirm. Next, we're going to go to disks. Let's go ahead and configure the disk options. Here, you can choose your OS disk type. There's standard SSD, premium SSD, as well as standard HDD. For this demo, we're going to go ahead and use a standard. However, it shows an explanation of what each one is best for. For encryption type, you can choose which best fits you. However, we're just going to remain with the default for this demo. And you can also create and attach a new disk if you like. In the network configuration, this part is fairly straightforward as many of the fields are already pre-populated for you. We have our virtual network assigned. We have our default subnet, a public IP. It's going to set up a network security group, basic, as well as public inbound ports for the RDP. In the management configuration, this part is fairly straightforward as well. This is where you can set up your monitoring, your diagnostic data, as well as your logins. It has an auto shutdown feature, which is pretty neat. So we can go ahead and enable that. And we could say, shutdown time, here it's standard at 7 p.m. We could change that to 10 or whatever we would like. Go ahead and set up your time zone. And you can also receive a notification prior to your shutdown. Then finally, we have the advanced tab. Here is where you can add different extensions and that sort of thing if you would like. However, we don't need that at this point. So let's go ahead and click review and create. In the review and create section, just go ahead and go over the data, make sure everything looks good on your end. Also make sure that the subscription is appropriate for your needs. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and click create. You'll see a notification in the top right. All right, while the deployment is in progress, you can take a look at your subscription, your resource group, the different resources allocated. Essentially, this will, eventually change into the actual VM that it's completed of the deployment. However, that could take, anywhere from a couple minutes to 30 minutes, depending on your configuration and the servers that are actually processing it. Now that the deployment is complete, let's go to resource. And here you can see all the information for your VM. Everything from the status, the location, the operating system, the public IP, as well as any other information that you would like to see. There's also different tabs for monitoring, capabilities, recommendations, and tutorials. If you'd like to modify anything within your VM, all that can be done under the settings panel. You can see here we can set up the disk size, you can swap it out, we can set up the security, extensions, anything else that you need to configure. Now let's connect to the actual virtual machine that we created. So at the top, you're going to see connect. Go ahead and click on that. You can choose RDP, SSH, Bastion. We're going to do RDP because that's what we set up. So from here, we're going to go ahead and click download RDP file. All right, go ahead and open the file. We're going to go ahead and click connect. Okay, then we're going to enter the credentials we put in before. Select yes. And now we're in the virtual machine. It's fairly easy to set up, as you could see, and we go ahead and set up the configuration for the virtual machine just like you would with any new fresh install of Windows 10. Your end result will look like this. It's going to ask to connect to your network so that I could download any updates that are pending for Microsoft Windows 10, in this case Windows 10 Pro, but it's a fully functional virtual machine now. And there you have it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below in the comments section. And if you found this video useful, please hit that like button and subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. It does help out the channel. Until next time.